Recording is started, and we can hop into it. So here, chasing after D.Va probably isn't going to accomplish too much anyways, because as Tracer, we're probably not going to be able to successfully kill her. We could possibly dislodge her a little bit is something we could do, but you also might find more benefit after going around and going for some squishies. Now here, we do kind of blindly blink in aggressively over here without even really paying attention to what's going on over here, and there's actually a lot going on over here, so make sure we're not just blindly blinking into an aggressive situation. We can even see that there's people there. If we're looking in the bottom left, we can hear them over there, so we just want to be careful about blinking in that aggro without knowing what's going on over there. Alright, let's rewatch that for a second. So firstly, notice that we're going really aggro when our whole team's dead. Or walking back from spawn or whatever, right? So we're getting pretty aggro here. And we end up going like all the way into their team and then immediately having to get back out. So that didn't really accomplish too much. Also, note that you're trying to play Tracer into a composition that pretty much, there's no single character that can counter another character and say you are not allowed to play this character, really generally speaking, in this game. But there are compositions that do that. If an entire composition is bad against your character, you're not really going to be able to do a ton. Now, Torbjorn is good against Tracer. McCree is good against Tracer. Sigma has Rock. Ana has Sleep. You're really going to have a hard time killing things and participating against that comp. Additionally, your comp doesn't support you. You're not playing with a dive that you can go in with, so you're kind of going to be doing all that on your own. So honestly, I would say that you're probably on the wrong character in this composition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. I get it.
So you might be better off swapping in this scenario. If you're going on this kind of flanky play, be a little bit more, I guess they all saw you blinking there anyways, so I guess that, never mind. They know you're coming, but it also just, if you're crouch spamming, that muffles like your footsteps of like when you're getting there. Maybe someone wasn't looking, so they don't know you're coming. This means that now they can't hear you, so don't just normally walk. Probably wouldn't blink there. If you're not blinking there, it means that you're, look how far back your team is. You don't have to be forcing this fast engagement, right? You could be you could just like have peeked back and took out turret. That would have been valuable. If you're walking through the top here, okay, let's go back here a second. If you're walking through the top here and we're at one blink and we blink again, right? So now we're coming in with one blink and we're engaging with one blink, whereas if we just walk that same distance, we might be getting there with 3 blinks, right?
Yeah.
It's much better to engage, to come in with 3 blinks than it is to come in with 1 blink, right? I think we've gone over Tracer before, right? But just a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago, and I don't think we ever went too hard into like abilities and stuff. It was more just like play style.
Well, yeah, with abilities, generally speaking, you don't want to engage with a blink. You definitely can, but you don't want to. Too many Tracers just will do it all the time. And then now it means the difference between coming in with 1 blink and 3 blinks. Just adding in that, trying to blink to engage when it's not necessary here.
All right.
Nice. Okay, I think we end up wasting a lot of blinks here. So like, let's see, here Lucio drops in on us. We blinked twice there when we could have just walked an extra inch. Oh, Anna just rolled us there. I
Yeah.
mean, possibly could like blink around it, but she'd kill us very fast. Okay, let's rewatch that. So here we see bomb, we go, oh no, bomb. And then we just blink way too far trying to get away from it. Whereas we could have just walked backwards into this room. We could walk right here and get get behind cover. We could have blinked this direction, double blinked over here to get around the corner. Really, what I'm saying is that if you're trying to get away from it, don't go to the one place where you can no longer shoot Tracer, or sorry, no longer shoot Diva, because we're trying to get the kill, right? We wanna finish her
Yeah.
here before she remechs. But we blink to the spot. We accidentally blink off the map here, which means
Yeah.
that puts us out of commission to actually finish off I keep saying Tracer, finish off the Diva, right? So stay where you can kill her.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload. Move it out. Enemy turret ahead.
I feel like you got slightly lucky with that one, but you're
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, got a little bit over aggro without abilities, so here we're kind of pushing it. Like, we're not really paying attention to the respawns here. We don't realize that there's two people walking back from spawn, so we're kind of walking out here when we have one blink, and that's it. Ana hits us, we blink over to the side, and then right now we probably want to be backing up and getting heals, right? Notice where
Yeah.
like your team's not hard pushing at the moment really, and cart's all the way back here. We could just double blink back in here and just drop and grab the health pack, or drop and get healing from Ana. But we kind of stay really far pushed into their team, like so far that we're not getting any support whatsoever. We could go grab the Mega, but instead we kind of, once again, we're just sitting here at 80 HP, right? We just means we get headshot and we're dead, right?
Yeah.
Enemy turret ahead. I'm under attack.
Alright, I think let's rewatch that a little bit. Alright, so we're coming in. We blink once to the side. We double blink under here. We grab the health pack. Notice how we blink up the stairs for no reason when once again we're
Yeah.
out of blinks. So you want the extra rotate time to recharge all your blinks, right? You don't want to be engaging with none of them. Okay, because now we're in a duel and we don't have any blinks. Make sure you're
Yeah.
using your recall. I feel like there's been maybe a couple scenarios where we've died with abilities still available to use. So you shouldn't really be dying when you have abilities to be surviving with, right? Okay, look at this fight that we're re-engaging into.
Yeah.
Alright, but what's the status of the fight?
It's like 1v4 right now, kinda.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a lost fight, right? And we're
Yeah.
re-engaging into it, so that's just ends up staggering ourselves, getting just feeding an extra kill. Yeah, Diva's kind of feeding there. We probably could have even been looking at her sooner there, because she's super
Yeah.
far ahead of her whole team. Very good blink. Good pulse bomb. Well played. gotta just watch the Sigma. We see him to our left. We kind of just ignore him.
Yeah.
Request healing. Get over to your team. Blinks. Recall. Just gotta watch him because he ends up getting the rock and the kill. So awareness. We're dying a lot so far, it appears.
Mhm.
So getting survivability under control is probably gonna be a big thing. Scrolling. Have we gone in depth on survivability before?
I don't think so.
It looks like maybe a little. No. Yeah, maybe a little bit on a couple sessions ago, because I have it written in a thing, but it didn't look like it was a big priority. Would you like to review it?
Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, so whenever, and maybe this will sound familiar, but whenever you die, you're dying, and Tracer's decently fast, but you're essentially dead for approximately 20 seconds a death, right? And you're not always playing Tracer also, right? I think you play a bunch of other characters. And when you die, it's 10 seconds of respawn, and then also 10 seconds of walk back time, right? Roughly speaking. Or even regroup time while your team's regrouping. So dying ain't any good, especially when it's done a ton. Now, so far we've died a lot. We just died one. I mean, I don't even know how many times we've died so far. I mean, we could do like a really quick head count if we want to here.
I think it's been like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, in a really short time frame. So the fight, it starts in after 15 seconds. So that's death 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's death 6 right there, and this has been 4 minutes, pretty much like 4:20, right?
Yeah.
So if that rate were to continue, right? Let's do what let's say it's just 16 minutes so far in this game, right? So let's do that. That means we'd essentially times 6 by 4.
Yeah.
If that death rate were to continue, not saying it will, but if it were to continue, you'd have roughly speaking like 24 deaths.
Yeah.
Let's be generous and say let's be very generous and say that's 18 deaths, right? If you have 18 deaths in a game, and you multiply that by 20 for 20 seconds, and then you have 20 seconds per death, and then you divide that by 60. That would be 6 entire minutes that you are dead for, right? Where you're not doing anything, nada, zip, right? That has like a third of your game here. Literally 1/3 of your entire game that you're not participating in. Now, on top of that, that's not just time that you're doing nothing, it's also time that you are actively putting your team at a disadvantage because they're down a player, right? You're more likely to lose the fights. That's your impact on losing the fights. Deaths, overall, ain't any good, right? They're not very good. So, I would look to avoid them. 4 main reasons why people die is a misuse of abilities, poor positioning, a lack of awareness, and overaggression, right? So we can look at a couple of these. Like this one was a lack of awareness. We've had a couple maybe overaggressions, a couple misuses of abilities, right? So we just want to pay attention to them and look to solve and figure out why are we dying, right? So we can look to fix deaths and whatnot. That all make sense?
Yeah.
I foresee great things for you.
Moving up.
Enemy turret. Enemy turret ahead.
Okay, here we're getting real. So, problem. Gotta look at this team orientation. We're going in when it's like a 1v3, 1v4, right?
Yeah.
We're engaging super far ahead of our whole team. We gotta be careful because the aggro is just way too much here, and we probably don't want to be going in this fast into the engagement because now they just can put all their they can just all shoot at us, and then we have to immediately back out, and we got 0 value and just use all our abilities.
The payload is in my charge. Move it.
Okay, kind of mistimed that one.
Yeah.
Okay, ability usage seems very frantic in a lot of these fights. Right, not deliberate in a lot of senses. So like here, turrets are shooting at us, we blink over to the side, and then we immediately blink over to this side over here, and then we pretty much immediately recall back over to here, and then we blink out. So that's fine. So just, oh, and we dead.
Yep.
Still, also we're still engaging in that lost fight as well, so we kind of didn't back out soon enough. So not backing out soon enough is probably one of the bigger things there. Notice a double blink into the wall once again.
Yeah.
60 seconds remaining.
Looks like we're looking for a pulse here. Maybe, no. Okay, what's the status of the fight currently?
It's like a 1v3, and I think my team is just gone.
But yeah, fight's over, right?
Yeah.
1v6.
Yeah.
So right now, what are we doing?
Just wasting time and feeding.
Yeah, or there's a technical term for it.
It's overextending.
Not really. Dying late is considered staggering.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So right now we are staggering ourselves. So now we're gonna be dying late. Our team could choose to push in without us. So look when we respawn. Look at where our whole team's at. They're all up there. They could have chosen to push in without us, and then be at a disadvantage. Or if they wait for us, then we're wasting all their time.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining.
Good pulse. Pulses have been on point so far this game. Double blink into it again. Just gotta learn those blink ranges, because I don't know if we're thinking that we need 2 blinks to make it or not. But we end up just like blinking twice into walls a ton. Maybe because we're underestimating how far we can blink with a single blink. Okay. Yeah, you can go and engage on those guys over there, but that also would give up your high ground. When, like, what if we just like were over here and we just were blink, being on the McCree and the Ana. Now I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't like that would just maintain the good positioning. I don't think this is terrible, but it just means that we give up that good positioning. That's rough. Notice how we recall out when we still have beat active. Probably don't need to recall out when we have 500 HP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if we get flashed, we're not dying.
Yeah.
Right? So that just wastes the ability. Notice how we instantly blink 3 times in a row, right? So we recall out, and then we blink in, and then we immediately blink again, and then we immediately blink again, right? We're just using all of them so fast, right? So typically pace them slightly better, and then also blink behind them, right? That when you're in duels with people I don't know if I've said that before, but you want to be blinking behind people because then that disorients them, right? If we're on a McCree, right, and let's say that like this is McCree right here, right, and we go like this, all he has to do is just, right? That's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's all we're doing, and we're just wasting all of our abilities to do this, to make him go like this, right? But if we go like, it's gonna be a little hard to do that. But if we let's pick this guy. Let's say this is McCree now, right? And we now, instead of going side, 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 we go forwards, shoot, back, forwards. Well, now we confuse the heck out of him. We can even we can chain that. Like if you're trying to bait out his flashbang, you can go shoot, 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 blink behind, blink, and then he turns around, but you've just baited him to turn around, right? So you can do the fake out, right? So that's what I would do because it makes them do 360. They have to go like this, which makes it much, much harder for them to actually keep track of you, right? So I blink to their sides and behind rather than just like in front of them still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
I wouldn't typically do unless you're in extreme danger. I wouldn't do that because one blink is enough to dodge everything for the next couple seconds if you're timing it right. Otherwise, if you're doing that, then you're not timing the abilities right. If you feel the need to blink 3 times, then you're not really guessing when McCree's flashing right, and that's something you want to do to prevent needing to blink 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Traveling to icon ready for battle.
What am I doing? I'm just gonna go through it 5 seconds at a time. Good kill. Very nice dodge. Watch the respawns.
Yeah.
We can probably kill this, and then maybe since they have beat, we can maybe just wrap back around up to the high ground, get that superior positioning while we're waiting for beat to run out. We're not gonna kill anything during beat. And then also just additionally keeping our ears and eyes open for the respawn. Okay. Once again, doing the double blink around when we're using blink here to go and grab a health pack to get 40 HP. So we're wasting a blink to go get 40 HP. Uh-oh. Looks like we kind of just blinked into everything there.
Yeah.
Oof.
I was trying to get a pulse off, but
Yeah.
I probably could have just threw it from where I was standing.
Once again, probably being up above them would be best for it.
Yeah.
Okay. You go blink, blink in the wall, blink again through here. I would say just be much more deliberate about your blinks, right? So here, once again, we blink past where we're trying to go, and then Lucio's not chasing us, and then we blink 2 inches in front of us. Once again, that's just walking distance, right?
Yeah.
Request heals. Okay. Flashy, but think through the value that we're getting out of that. If we're getting using an ultimate to get a stagger kill, okay, great. We just got an extra, 15, 20 seconds. But then at the same time, now we're down an ultimate for the next fight. Typically, ultimates are best used in the fight because now if you're down that ultimate and they now have more of an advantage in the next fight that we're going to be participating in, well, now, which is more worth it, to stagger them for 20 seconds or to be able to win the fight? Because if they win the fight, then they cap the point and they get more time anyways, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you're not, unless I would say the exception would be if you're like running down the clock. Let's say there's only like 30 seconds left. Well, then that's a big pulse because they have to go in without Ana. They can't wait because they have to go and touch point, right? But if you were to, or actually never mind, I guess like 20 seconds left, right? If they had like 20 seconds left anyways. But at this point, they can just wait for Ana and then go in, and then now you don't have Pulse Bomb, and that's actually probably better for them than us actually getting a ton of value out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So generally speaking, ultimates are best used in fights, and rarely are they used outside of fights, or rarely should they be used outside of fights. Alright, so let's rewatch that real quick. Okay, so here the main thing is health bar. We go in aggro when we're 40 HP and 17 HP, immediately be recalling, right? We're still trying to go when we're 17 HP. Also, you can probably just, rather than having to go that deep for a the reason why Blink melees are so good is because it's the speedy follow-up when you're out of ammo, but this isn't a speedy follow-up if you have to drop from so high, right? So it just becomes a very slow drop while we're taking a lot of damage, to where you're better off just reloading and shooting him again, right?
Yeah.
Back in the fight. Wicked.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Enemy turret ahead.
Enemy turrets destroyed.
Okay. So we come in, we're poking, we blink into a wall again, and then we kind of like full back for like 40 HP, which isn't like terrible, but I don't know if it's necessary. Very good, very nice. Uh-oh. Gotta watch for the rock. Blink, it's a slow ability. Why does that look like a weird interaction? Like I should have hit cart or something.
Yeah.
But you do have blink here to use. Huh.
Yeah.
I guess it gotcha. But point still stands. Abilities, which seems to be a little bit of the one of the bigger points here. Alright, so here we go in get aggro. Gotta be careful here because we do like go in aggro on the tour, but watch the blink then recall, and we also recall a little bit late. But we do make it out. Just gotta be careful there.
I could use some healing.
Very nice. I think we've hit like almost every single pulse that we've thrown in this game. Pulse has been on fire.
60 seconds remaining.
Is it worth like taking that time out of the fight to destroy the turret?
No, yeah, I think so because like as Tracer, turrets on their team is one of your biggest threats at the moment.
Yeah.
Like so it's important to take out the pulse, or take out the turret. I mean, like here, like how much time are we realistically? We're taking, you know, half a second
Yeah.
to destroy it, and then we're back in the fight, right? So yeah, Steph, 100%. What'd you do? What'd you do this time? Sorry,
Uh,
I'm talking about the the
oh,
sirens in your
oh,
background.
oh.
No, joke didn't land, said. I think I don't know. I'm trying to think like what could be the reason why you're performing much better here on defense than on attack. I feel like on attack you seem to almost have like the misunderstanding that you need to play 100% aggression all the time, right? Like you just go 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 and you just sprint into their team. That kind of feels like the gameplay versus defense where you feel much more fluid in knowing, you know there's times to push, there's times to back, when to do which. Defense, you just seem to be doing a much better job of that. Whereas on attack, we seem to be under the false impression that we always need to be going because, oh, it's called attack, right?
Mhm.
That I guess that would be one of the things that I'm thinking seems to be the problem here. Have we ever reviewed aggression scaling? Question mark.
Yeah, we did. I think like once.
Like once. Okay. Do you recall? If could you explain to me what that was?
Basically, there are different. There's a scale where you have 0 is
Mhm.
like doing nothing, and then 100 is like full, just go in.
Mhm.
Um, and there's certain times for different things depending on abilities and health bars and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yep. I mean, to fill in some of the blanks, there's also 50%, which is kind of your neutral in each fight, where you just start out there because there's not a whole lot that's happened yet. You
Hmm.
adjust upwards with advantages like being up kills and opportunities like someone's 1 HP. And then you adjust downwards with disadvantages like being down kills, with a lack of resources like being 1 HP, health bar and abilities, and also danger level like there's a diva bomber next to you, right? Or their entire team staring at you. Right, so that's your aggression scaling, and on attack, it seemed as though we weren't managing it very well, whereas on defense, we seem to be managing a lot better. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Alrighty, so it's a very useful tool for identifying where should you be.
10 seconds
Very nice tracking. We also seem to be more confident on the defense here. I feel like after we got into a roll, we kept going, typing shit.
He was saying some stuff to me after he rocked me on cart through a wall, but
All right. Sounds good. We got 10 more minutes, 12 more minutes. You got anything else here?
yeah, I can give you. The first 3 minutes, we like don't even get to walk out of spawn. It's like kind of crazy. I don't know if we. There was just nothing I could do. I don't feel like it.
You want to skip over that?
There's like.
Traveler
Let's just see.
begins.
Let's just see if
Ready
it's
for
like
battle.
there's anything to go over. I guess.
Uh-oh. Recall, get the health back. Request healing, get your supports to look at you sooner. Okay. So I might recommend taking Mega Room rather than trying to do that right side wraparound because they can all see you coming that right side wraparound. So it's gonna be a little bit more of a like sneakier flank to get around on them. Additionally,
Yeah.
we need to be closing the distance to actually get to people. Here, we keep trying to fight, and we're way too far out of range. What's your range on Tracer again?
It's like 10, 15 meters.
Yeah, preference range is like 10 meters, right? And then cap out range is like 15 meters, right?
Hmm.
So we definitely want to be closer than where we've been fighting this whole time. Yep, back if you need. That's fine. Wait for your team to regroup up. Watch the double flank into the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that she's there, so maybe it might be a good idea to wait for her to move or keep an eye on her. Like if you know if you know that she's like right above you, you gotta be extra careful. Might want to like look up while we're walking out here.
Hmm.
Watch the blink recall. Okay, we're not doing anything from that range. Yep, there you go. A little bit closer now. Watch the the YOLO Kobe of a pulse
Yeah.
bomb. Usually gonna be a lot
Yeah.
less accurate. Also notice how when we're gauging here, we're going in and it's a 1v4,
Yeah.
right? Let your team like don't hard like in a 1v4, is that a like, time to go 100% aggro?
No, definitely not.
Probably not. So probably let your team push a bit more and let them create some space for you and like don't be forcing an engagement into like, when you're already at a big disadvantage.
Somebody get the payload moving.
That was a bad time to walk out of spawn.
Let me. Greetings. Helden sterben nicht.
60 seconds.
Okay. Kind of a needless needless up in the air. Remember that this just makes it easier for hit scans to be shooting at you. So like unless you're being like dove by somebody, in a lot of cases, like I mean like this isn't really accomplishing too much here. Like we could still see Mercy from the ground just fine. And
Yeah.
then we're just leaving cover really far away from cover. Okay, good shots. Nice shots. Okay, that's the break that we needed. That's really kind of just how you break out of that situation. Is you just hit the shots. You make the play. Have we? Because I think we played a lot of. I mean, I think it's right. We don't have to comment on that. That's fine.
10 seconds remaining.
I get the idea.
Overtime.
Bless your heart. Let's keep it moving. My servants never die. Do something. Justice reigns.
Double kill.
Let me show you how it's done.
Oh, if you see the Mercies right next to the soldier, after we killed the soldier, we backed out. Right? We killed the soldier, and then watch how we back up around the corner, and we start to reload when we still have 9 bullets left. Right?
Yeah.
So you want to keep up that pressure and chase after the Mercy. We're only down, 60 HP. You still have all your bullets. Go push the Mercy, and then you could kill her before she gets off the res. You potentially have Coach Gun. Here we could Coach Gun over to her to finish her off, but we just let her get away with the res. And now I feel like Soldier's gonna kill her. Oh, never mind. The teammates ult.
Escorting the payload.
Big dynamite if we toss that in there. Just look for situations like that where you get a big juicy, literally like 5-man, 4-man dynamite, right? Just imagine
Yeah.
how much damage that does. So look for situations like that's a perfect situation to be tossing it in there. And yet we're going for the shots into the tanks. There we go, we got it, but it looked like it only hit like 1 or 2 people. I think we rushed it because look when we detonated it. We detonated like right over
Yeah.
the tanks. If we let that go like an extra 2 inches, that hits like 4 people instead of 2. Oh, almost good. Typically, left click is reserved for finishing off a kill, or when something is very close and on top of you, right? Then you can left click
Mhm.
because it gives you, the faster mobility and whatnot. But we're kind of spam left clicking in when people are full HP and far away from us, right?
Yeah.
That's not typically the time to left click, because then that's just eating through your bullets super fast.
Mhm.
Once again, just eating through it so fast. It's very scoped shots are much better bang for your buck in a lot of cases, unless it's kind of forced out of you. Bob here in a second. Okay, problem with Bob there with placement. Probably if we curve a little bit further to the right, we could get Bob better and like to go behind them a little bit better. Like maybe this one right here, this pillar rather than this pillar. Essentially, it's not that major of a difference. The thing is that with Bob, you want a crossfire effect, so you want him to be off-angling for you. Typically, Bob should go behind them. Or to the side of them is okay. So this one's not terrible, but I think they'll like just back up away from Bob, and then Bob will be in front of them. And then when Bob's in front of them, it loses out on a lot of its benefits. Because look here, they kind of back up, and then now because these guys back up, Bob ends up going in front, and then that just makes it so much easier for them to angle away from Bob. Everyone just runs away from Bob, and Bob can't do a ton from where he's at. Whereas if he's right here, gives him a lot better angles to work with, where you can now see 3 people. Means that he's shooting at them from behind. This creates an effect where they're not really sure who they want to be looking at. Do they look at you? Do they look at Bob? Do they shield you? Do they shield Bob? Just splits all their resources.
You can all just take it easy. The battle continues. You're welcome.
60 seconds
I
remaining.
stick up for mine.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Just point me in the right direction. Move it up. Here it comes. Nailed.
What he wants to wicked.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch out for, like when your team's backing out, because we kind of looks like we maybe overstay our welcome a little bit. Or notice just how we're engaging when we don't really have, like, we're down hog. Monkey just died. I guess the rest of us are just really split. McCree dies. We should just be like kind of hard backing at the moment. I don't know. It's not a fantastic situation. I don't think we like terribly misplayed it, but maybe backing out sooner or playing further back in the first place. So when we see that we're kind of like it's not a great situation, rather than doing this play, we could just sit back main or something like that.
Yeah.
Still can see from here, but it just give us more of an ability to back out. All right. Go over the main points. Do a quick review and wrap up. Right. Ability usage.
Cavalry's here.
Recall. Sometimes we just wouldn't recall, right, when we had the option. Though Blink, I think, had a lot more of mistakes that we did, right? We would blink into walls. We would double blink into walls. We would double blink when we didn't need to double blink. Like, there would be health pack, like, right here, and we would go blink, blink, right? Because we'd kind of underestimate how far a blink's going to take us. We would blink and then recall. We would blink into engagements, right? So we would have one blink left, and we would blink in, which means that we get here with one blink, versus if we have one blink left and we just walk this. Well, now we're engaging and we have 3 blinks, right? Instead of one blink, right? It just gives us more to work with. It means that we're more likely to win. When you are blinking, don't blink. Don't use all your blinks up at once. Don't go blink, 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 right? Also, blink behind people. Confuses the heck out of them, right? And that'll get them, make it much harder for them to shoot at you than if you're going to the side of them, right? Don't rush your blinks. And I think that's a lot of it. But as you see, that's a lot of your ability usage. Overall, that's probably like a higher end of a medium priority for you to work on. There's just a lot of stuff within blink management that we talked about, right? Ult usage was on point with Pulse Bomb in that one game at least. Don't try to Kobe them from like a mile away usually. Try to get up close and personal. Right here, it's much harder to miss than tossing it like that, right? So I'd recommend close the gap. Overall though, that's probably like a, I don't know, like low priority for you to work on. Ash,
My business.
we didn't talk too much on abilities. Low priority. Ult usage, put it behind them, but we didn't really use it too terribly either. So I don't know, low. So honestly, Ash, we didn't. I'm not gonna go too much into Ash because we weren't on her for as long, right? Tracer, mechanics. I guess like maybe sometimes there's a little bit of like target priority, which we've discussed in the past, I think, right? Besides that, generally pretty good. I don't think there's too much. Ash, make sure that you're not spamming left click. We don't want to do this. Typically, left click should be reserved for if somebody's like right in on top of you, or if you're finishing off a kill like so, right? But you don't necessarily want to be doing it from like, just spamming for no reason from a range, because then that's gonna eat through your bullets so fast, and also just be less worth it. not gonna do
Yeah.
as much, right? Overall, Ash kind of, I mean, both for Ash and Tracer kind of low on the scale, right? Um, then positioning with Tracer. I'm trying to think. Just use cover. Off angling, I think like some timings with it were off in some situations, and then just working on our timings. I don't know if we discussed a ton on positioning.
I think we went over like the difference between off angles and then a flank.
Not this time in
Yeah,
particular.
not this time,
Not this
but
time. Yeah, but that would have been like other times. Yeah. Overall, low to medium with positioning, and then awareness slash aggression. Awareness slash aggression is going to be paying attention to your health bar, requesting healing when we're low. Don't engage super hard when we're low. Watch your abilities. How many abilities do we got? What's happening at kill feed? Are we up or down people? Sometimes we'd engage when we were down our whole team. Right? Or, a couple times we did that, right? Pay attention to what the heck is our team up to? Where's the enemy team? Where's our team? Watching enemy health bars, watching tab, kill feed, etc. Just all the above, right? Watching all of that. And then adjusting our aggression based off of it, right? Starting off at 50%. 100% is super aggro, 0% is super passive. Adjust up with advantages and opportunities. Adjust down with disadvantages, danger, and a lack of resources. And then overall, that all went to probably like a higher end of a medium for you to work on. And then survivability. Survivability, make sure that you're not dying. Dying is real bad for you, right? 4 things that cause deaths are misuse of abilities, over aggression, poor positioning, and a lack of awareness. I would say that over aggression, I would probably say that the one that like probably got you the least amount was poor positioning. I think you died to over aggression, misuse of. I think you really died to the 3 other ones. Not as much to the poor positioning, right? Pay attention to why you're dying, look to stop it from happening, and then that will get you a lot more time to actually do things in your game. Overall, because it also just hasn't been something that we've seen a ton before, and I'm not sure, it could just be that one game or that one round of that one game. So overall, like depending on how frequent it is, if that's a frequent thing that happens all the time, that's a high priority. But because it's not, doesn't appear to be, that's probably more like a medium priority. So, to put that all in order, number 1 probably goes to awareness slash aggression. Number 2 goes to the ability usage. Number 3 goes to survivability. Number 4, and I mean that's about it, really at that point. All right, any questions?
So actually, one of the reasons why I started playing Tracer again is when I was in Diamond, I was playing against like these guys. I would be on Genji, and then some dude on the other team would go like Doomfist, and there's not really much you can do against Doomfist because you kind of just like do no damage to him really as Genji, and so I just play against like several Doomfists who just like kind of just roll your team, and you can't really do anything about it, and so I decided to just play Tracer because he's kind of good against Doomfist, or she's pretty good against Doomfist.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to do in that scenario when there's like just a Doomfist that my team just doesn't care about. He just flies in and kills everyone.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily your responsibility to worry about the Doomfist. Now, if he's like hard carrying and you want to do something about him, well, then you can swap to something that does do more against him. I would say that Tracer does more against Doomfist, but Genji's not that terrible either. If you're hitting your headshots, especially, and dashes correctly. He's not the best against Doomfist either. The other thing is to do would just be to outfrag their team. Is just do enough yourself, right? Don't. It's not necessarily your responsibility to deal with your backline, like I said, unless he's just hard fragging every single fight and just carrying their team, right? If that's the case, then yeah, I think Tracer would be fine. But it also doesn't mean that you have to never go Genji.
Yeah, it's just that was several losses, I think. Like games where I went up against like a rollout Doomfist and like that was a good bit of my losses. I feel like on certain days. So I don't know. I don't know what to do against that, but I guess just be better is the
Well,
is the solution.
yeah, be going for their team, not focusing the Doomfist as much. If you do focus Doomfist, you know, go for the headshots. Tracer, swapping Tracer would be fine in that scenario. Too, McCree would probably even be better. McCree, Torbjorn, things that make Doomfist hard to play. Right?
Yeah.
Would be good. Alright, anything else?
I really think that's it.
Alright, sounds good. Right,
All right.
let me get you a record.